Imagine opening your mail and finding an invoice for over $1 billion.
Well, that sounds terrifying.
Right. And attached to that invoice is a receipt for just 13 soccer games.
Just 13.
Yeah. Right now, across North America, the 2026 World Cup is officially happening, and it's basically painting our cities in these bright, vibrant colors. If you turn on any screen, you're seeing the exact same undeniable spectacle.
Absolutely. The energy is incredible.
It really is. I mean, we're talking packed stadiums, massive global broadcasts, and 16 different cities just swarming with fans draped in flags from all over the world. It is the biggest sporting show on earth.
It is.
But, behind that broadcast, there is a very quiet, very real financial machine operating in the background. And that's the mission for today's analysis.
Yeah, we really need to unpack how that machine works because it operates on an incredibly asymmetric business model.
Asymmetric in what way?
Well, the surface story, the one being broadcast to billions of homes right now, is pure celebration. You see the skyline shots, the full hotels, local politicians talking about a tourism renaissance.
Right, everyone's smiling for the cameras.
Exactly. But beneath that loud, colorful surface is a much more complex reality. The tournament generates billions of dollars, sure, but the distribution of those billions tells a very different story about who really wins and who is left holding a rather staggering bill.
Because we have to ask you, the listener, whether a city hosting a global spectacle actually comes out ahead, or do they just become this temporary, unpaid operating system for someone else's highly profitable product?
That's the perfect way to frame it.
I mean, when you walk past those packed restaurants and busy airport terminals today, it's completely natural to assume the host city just hit the economic jackpot. The money just seems to be flowing everywhere.
It really looks like a localized gold rush. But to understand the reality, we need to examine how a mega event actually segregates value.
Segregates it.
Yeah, it operates as a cost distribution machine. So you have to separate the revenue streams from the obligations. The event creates enormous value, absolutely, but it creates two very different kinds of value.
Okay, walk me through that.
You've got commercial wealth on one side and operational duty on the other. The global organization, in this case FIFA, captures all the premium commercial streams.
So we're talking about the big ticket items.
Precisely. The global television broadcasting rights, the top-tier corporate sponsorships, international licensing, and the core ticketing structures. All of that money flows upward and outward.
Just bypassing the city entirely.
Right. It bypasses the local municipal economy almost entirely.
You know what this reminds me of? It's like a city hosting a luxury pop-up store.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Yeah. So the luxury brand arrives with this massive global fame. They bring their highly desirable premium product, they set up shop, and they sell it for a massive premium. But the city is the one providing the paved streets. The city provides the police presence outside the store to manage the massive lines. The city pays for the sanitation crews to clean up the trash left behind.
Yeah, they handle all the logistics.
Exactly. The brand takes all the direct high-margin profits from the sales and just leaves town, while the city basically just hopes that the massive foot traffic spills over into the coffee shop next door.
It almost sounds like the city is playing the role of a glorified janitor for a billionaire's party.
That is a remarkably accurate way to visualize it. The host cities inherit what we can call the unglamorous invoice.
The unglamorous invoice.
Yeah. To put on the show you are watching on your screen right now, the cities have to pay for the physical reality of the event. They're footing the bill for the anti-terrorism units, the transport logistics, street closures.
Which are massive disruptions. Huge. Plus emergency medical planning, public fan zones, and these massive 247 sanitation efforts. The ball might be in play for 90 minutes on the pitch, but the city has been working and bleeding cash for months to make those 90 minutes possible.
Which really brings us to the actual math of the current North American tournament. Because, this isn't just a regular tournament. The 2026 model features 48 teams playing 104 matches.
It's unprecedented.
It's a continental logistics puzzle on a scale we've literally never seen before.
And the organizers view that expansion as pure upside. I mean, more matches mean more broadcast hours to sell to networks, right?
More sponsor inventory for billboards, wider global reach.
Exactly. But for the municipalities, an expanded tournament just means immense, prolonged operational pressure. Let's look at the actual numbers driving this.
Let's hear them.
So Canada's Parliamentary Budget Officer estimated that the total government support for just 13 matches, and this is split between Toronto and Vancouver, would be over 1.066 billion Canadian dollars.
Wait, that number is almost difficult to comprehend. Over $1 billion for 13 matches.
That's the estimate.
That breaks down to roughly what? $82 million per game? What on earth is an $82 million per game price tag actually buying?
Well, it buys the hidden infrastructure of safety and movement.
Mm-hmm.
When you inject tens of thousands of international visitors into a dense urban core, you aren't just paying a few police officers overtime.
Right. It's way beyond that.
You are completely retrofitting the city's operational capacity. You're paying for cybersecurity task forces, temporary housing for deployed emergency personnel, tactical crowd control barriers,
Wow.
and massive upgrades to transit hubs just to prevent the local infrastructure from collapsing under the weight of the crowds. And it's not just a Canadian issue either.
No.
No, look at the local transit impacts in the U.S. New Jersey Transit estimated a $48 million hit just for the extra security, crowd management, and operating costs associated with the matches happening there.
It's like throwing a massive house party where your wealthy friend takes the cover charge at the door, but you still have to pay for the broken couch and the professional cleaning crew the next morning.
That's exactly what it is.
Mhm.
And the truly terrifying part for a city's budget is the nature of these expenses. These are what financial analysts call sticky costs,
Sticky costs. Meaning what exactly?
meaning they are entirely inflexible.
Hmm.
So if attendance disappoints because global flights are too expensive, or say if a team with a smaller traveling fan base plays in your city, the police still need to be paid.
Ah, I see.
The emergency medical tents still have to be fully staffed. The street barricades still cost the exact same amount to rent and deploy. The downside risk of the event is almost entirely localized.
So the city absorbs the shock.
Right. The city absorbs the shock while the financial upside remains insulated and distributed globally to the organizers.
Okay, let me push back a bit here. Look at the streets out there right now. If I am a restaurant owner in New Jersey or a hotel operator in downtown Toronto, my tables are booked for a month straight.
Oh, for sure. They're doing great.
Right, I'm charging premium rates. Tourists are buying dinners, they're renting cars and shopping. Doesn't that massive, undeniable injection of tourist cash automatically offset the $48 million transit bill or the billion-dollar security invoice?
We hear that argument at literally every city council meeting when these bids are proposed. But it relies on a fundamental misunderstanding of how public finance actually works.
How so?
Because fame is not reimbursement. Economic activity creates a buzz, but it doesn't automatically balance a municipal budget.
Let's trace the actual dollar then. Walk me through why a packed restaurant doesn't pay for the police overtime.
Okay, consider the mechanism of municipal tax capture versus private corporate revenue. When an international tourist goes out to celebrate and, say, drops $150 on a dinner at a local sports bar, the restaurant owner certainly benefits.
Sure, their profit margin increases.
And maybe their waitstaff takes home great tips. But the city government, the entity actually paying the $82 million per game for security, only captures a tiny fraction of that transaction.
Through, like, what, a local sales tax or a hospitality tax?
Exactly. So if the local tax rate is, say, 2 or 3%,
Wait, so the city's only getting a few dollars from that massive dinner tab?
precisely, you would need tourists to consume tens of millions of expensive dinners just to generate enough tax revenue to cover a fraction of the extra buses and tactical police deployments.
That math is brutal.
It is. The city is funding the infrastructure with whole dollars, but they're trying to recoup the investment with pennies on the dollar through indirect taxation. The math simply does not naturally align.
Okay, so if municipalities are essentially guaranteeing massive losses on these sticky operational costs, why on earth are mayors across North America fighting tooth and nail to win these bids?
It's a great question.
I mean, they have entire departments of financial analysts. They know these numbers. There has to be a compelling reason they actively seek out this burden.
There is a strategic logic to it, and it revolves around leverage and long-term positioning. Bidding for a tournament of this scale acts as an undeniable forcing function for a city.
A forcing function for what?
For getting things done. Many municipalities have major infrastructure projects, like a new subway line, an airport expansion, or a highway retrofit that have just been stalled in political gridlock for a decade.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, winning a global mega event creates a hard, immovable deadline. It forces political cooperation and unlocks federal funding that a mayor might never have been able to access otherwise.
So it provides the political cover to finally build the things the city needed anyway. Like, hey, we have to fix the train line. The world is coming in 4 years.
Exactly. And furthermore, the global organizers do rightly point out that the billions in commercial revenue they capture don't just vanish.
Right. Where does it go?
That money is largely what funds the global ecosystem of the sport. So the broadcasting rights sold in North America help build training pitches, fund youth programs, and support national teams in developing nations all over the world.
Okay, so it acts as a wealth transfer mechanism for the global sport.
Yes, it serves a massive developmental purpose globally. But strictly from the perspective of the host city, they are engaging in a very specific, very risky financial transaction. They are essentially buying an incredibly expensive options contract on prestige.
An options contract on prestige. Wow.
Yeah, you pay the massive premium upfront, the $1 billion for security, transit, and logistics. You assume all the operational risk,
Right.
and you pay it hoping that the future tourism, the elevated global reputation, the accelerated infrastructure, and the potential for future foreign investment will eventually justify that initial layout years down the road.
So you pay your share of the partnership in hard cash, and the tournament pays you back in exposure.
Exactly.
And exposure is a notoriously difficult currency to deposit in a municipal bank account.
That's the asymmetry. It's the structural reality of modern mega events. I mean, the fans aren't doing anything wrong by celebrating,
Of course not.
and the sport itself isn't the issue. The friction lies entirely in an incentive structure where a local government carries a highly visible, highly sticky financial burden while possessing very limited control over the rights that actually generate wealth.
So the next time you turn on your TV this month and see those massive fan zones or, watch a drone shot of a packed downtown stadium, you really have to look at it through a slightly different lens.
You really do.
You aren't just watching a game. You are watching a high-cost, high-visibility public management project unfold in real time.
And a host city only truly wins
Mm.
if it can convert that temporary global attention into lasting, tangible value.
Mm.
We really need to normalize the concept of a public cost scoreboard.
A public cost scoreboard. I like that.
Yeah. We track the goals, the fouls, and the possession statistics perfectly on our screens. We need to track the public money with that exact same rigor.
Mm.
What do taxpayers actually fund? What permanent infrastructure remains useful after the final whistle?
Right, because if the roads improve, if the transit system is permanently strengthened, and if local businesses see long-term growth, then that massive invoice can be defended.
Exactly.
But if the event just leaves behind great memories, astronomical policing bills, and this sort of vague sense of prestige, then the city didn't actually win the tournament. They merely rented the spotlight.
And the invoice always arrives after the lights go down.
Always. Public money always carries an opportunity cost. So as you enjoy the rest of the matches, I want to leave you with something to consider.
Was that?
Well, right now, global sports organizations hold all the leverage because cities compete fiercely against each other for the right to host.
True.
But what happens when cities realize they are all getting the exact same raw deal? We might be heading toward a future where host cities stop competing and start unionizing.
No, that's an interesting thought.
Imagine a coalition of major global cities negotiating as a single bloc, demanding a direct cut of the global broadcast rights before they agree to provide the streets, the security, and the sanitation. The power dynamic of the biggest show on Earth could completely flip.
It really could.
Until then, enjoy the games, but remember to keep an eye on the actual scoreboard.